Committee on Parole is called back to order. The time is 11:08. We're still at Wade Correctional. Our next case is Mr. David Manning. Mr. Manning, please introduce yourself and give us your DOC number.
David Manning, 39-408.
I can't see him, Jordan. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. This is Mr. Manning. Let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and the board is going to conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will allow those persons who've indicated they wish to have input speak. We have a number of supporters here for us today. Three of them will be speaking. James Manning, your cousin, Bertha Manning, your mother, and Charles Jones, who is your attorney, will be speaking. You also have here on Zoom, but not speaking, Frankie Manning, who is your cousin, Shauna Manning, who is your sister, Maisha Manning, who is your niece, and Tiffany Jackson, who is your sister.
Yes,
And at the end of that, we will allow you to make a brief statement before the board votes, and then your lawyer will close out. So you understand our procedure.
yes, sir.
This is the matter of David J. Manning, DOC number 394008. Date of birth, January the 20th of 1978. Is classified as a third felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of May the 21st of 2023. Adjusted good time date of August 26th of 2047. Full term date of November the 21st of 2051. He is currently serving a 38-year sentence on the charges of possession with methamphetamine, I can't say the whole thing. Possession with intent to distribute cocaine, possession with intent to distribute marijuana, as well as possession of methamphetamines. He was adjudicated a habitual offender on the first three possession with intent to distribute charges and sentenced on January the 27th of 2015. And on the possession of methamphetamines charge, he was sentenced on July the 8th of 2015. Mr. Manning, is that all sound accurate?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Manning, your case has been assigned to Mr. Alvin Roche. Would you please answer any questions he might have?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Manning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. Mr. Manning, you're currently 45 years old,
Yes, sir.
and you're a third felony offender. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are all your convictions involving with drugs?
No, sir.
And what were your other convictions?
Attempted unauthorized use of a movable, unauthorized use of movable, and tamper with evidence.
And what kind of evidence did you tamper with?
It was a Texas charge. It was dealing with a prior drug charge.
I see you had 465 days good time. Tell me about your program.
I completed re-entry programming, victim awareness, anger management, thinking from a change, as well as living in balance.
Did you say anything about anger management?
Yes, yes, sir. Case rate, yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, any organizational participation?
No, sir. Outside of NA, AA, and Celebrate Recovery.
Okay, any community service that you're rendered? Do you facilitate any program? Do you work hospice or any community service?
No, sir. I don't work hostage.
Okay. What's your current work assignment?
Crew 1.
And what does Crew 1 do?
Currently, we was a horticulture. We go out to the fields, and that's a field job.
Okay. Are you a trustee?
No, sir.
Why not?
I hadn't been screened for one because before the new law came in, I was not eligible due to my time frame, having a flat time
How long have you been at David Wade?
since 2015.
I see you've had a couple of hospital stays. How's your health?
Perfect.
Good, good, outstanding. What's your transition plan if you want to release today?
Once released, my sister has a up and running business, Jack's 5. I'll be transporting, driving for her, as well as involve myself with community activities as in applying to school to get my CDL license.
Look like you have a good transition plan, you're gonna be staying with your sister and working with your sister, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're going to CPL school,
Yes, sir.
so. Why haven't you worked on your GED?
I'm on a waiting list, currently on a waiting list to get into the educational program.
You haven't even took the literacy program.
Sir,
You haven't taken literacy yet.
I took a TABE test.
You took your CARE test.
Yes, sir.
And you're eligible to start your GED.
Well, yes, sir.
And you're on the waiting list at David Wade.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Now, let's talk about your disciplinary issue. In the last 2.5 years, your general disciplinary conduct has been totally unacceptable. You have 6 disciplinary violations in 20.
Yes, sir. I had my last
Hang on, let Mr. Burrow say, please.
Oh, go ahead.
He'll ask you a question in a minute, but let him finish.
You have 6 disciplinary violations from 2020 to 2022. The last one only 13 months ago. For defiance. Tell us about that defiance.
I was currently on South Side working cell blocks when I had caught the altercation with an officer in front of my cell. At that time, since then, I have went to anger management and realized that I made a vow of myself at that time to better my actions and my decisions.
All right. Tell us about that defiance.
About the defiance.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Oh, my officer asked me, right up, if I correctly, it was about telling the officer to leave in front of my cell.
Someone who knows come up with parole hearing. How does he get in so many disciplinary situations in 13 months, 18 months, and 2 years before his hearing? You had defiance 13 months ago. You had a fight 18 months ago. A theft of state, destruction of state property 18 months ago, and 3 other write-ups within the last 2 years. So tell me why you cannot follow the rules and regulations of the facility.
At that current time, before I went entered into the anger management, case of rage program and victim awareness program, living in balance. Before those schools, at that time, I was in a spiral. I was making mistakes, unconscious mistakes, due to the fact of the pressure. And since then, I have educated myself. I learned my triggers. I learned how to make better decisions, as well as found God and peace. So I don't act like that anymore.
Well, let me put some information into record. You have an extensive criminal history, over 30 arrests, 3 felony convictions. You have a 4 supervision history. You've been revoked 2 or 3 times. And you have overwhelming express opposition from the judge, the DA's office, and law enforcement. Mr. Manning, I will be very honest with you. I'd like to see you start working on your GED. I'd like a longer period in 13 months where you remain right up free. And I'd like to see you take some additional programming, get involved with some organization, do some community service. And if you do all of that, I think next time you'll be more apt to get a positive decision out of me. But I need to see a longer time with no write-ups. I need to see you at least working on your GED and then get involved with facility organizationals and do some community service. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. Manning?
Well, Mr. Marabella, Mr. Roche, you touched on most of his institutional issues has been tied to his conduct record. I think you noted that he hadn't gone a calendar year since the end of David Wade 2015 without a disciplinary report. So far, 2023, we're 4 months into 2023. He hadn't had a write-up. His last write-up was over 13 months ago. And all of his programming has came, or the majority of his programming has came in late 2022 and early 2023. So he's been doing well the last 13 months or so, but the reason he's not a trustee and the reason he's hasn't been able to participate in a lot of things is because of his conduct record, which he is working on improving. He has shown improvement over the last 13 months, and I think he's going to continue to go that way. He tells me, and he told the board that the program that he's taking has helped him deal with a lot of the issues he had that resulted in the write-ups and things that he's had. So, I'll take him at his word. He's gone 13 months without a write-up, but his disciplinary record has been pretty poor up until this point, Mr. Roche, and those are my comments at this time, and I'll answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Warden. Appreciate your comments. Now we'll hear from your supporters, Mr. Manning. Let's first hear from your cousin, James Manning.
Hi, good evening to everybody.
How are you, Mr.
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Fine, thank you. Tell us what you'd like to know about your cousin.
David, he's a big family man. He taught me so much, guided me through a lot of things for the rest of the family. He's a great person, and honestly, I think he deserved that chance to come home and show everybody, including himself, that how big of a person he changed. He's ready to come to society and be an honest person and live his life out with his family, because he needs to be home with his family, and that's where I feel where he needs to be. And as y'all see, he's improving a lot, showing that he's growing to the man that he is, and I think he deserved that chance. Because I know him, and I know he's a great person. And I think he deserved a chance. Honest truth. I'm a true person. If I felt, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments.
Yes,
now we
sir.
hear from Bertha Manning. Good morning, Miss Manning. How are you? You're on mute. I don't think we can hear you. Miss Manning, you're on mute. Someone there to help you take it off mute? There you go.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about your son?
Okay, my name is Bertha Manning Jenkins. I'm Davis Manning's mother, And what I would like to say in behalf of my son is, I think that God have blessed him tremendously, and he's ready for a change. And I think that he's the glue of this family, and we really miss him. And I pray that this day here is his day of freedom and release. He's a good person.
Thank you very much, Ms. Manning. We appreciate your comments. Mr. Jones, I assume you want to have Mr. Manning say a few words, then you'll close out. Is that fair to say? You're on mute, Mr. Jones.
Thank you. I think Ms. Tiffany Manning was wanted to address the board, and then I would be glad to, on behalf of David, address the board.
All right. Well, I didn't see Ms. Manning wanted, Ms. Tiffany Manning, Ms. Tiffany Jackson. I didn't see that she wanted to speak, but if she wishes to, I can go ahead. If she's ready to talk, I will listen to her.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Tiffany, and I am the sister of David Manning. And this, I guess this speech will probably feel extremely unbiased or biased because I am his sister. However, over the course of him being incarcerated, I have supported him. I have accepted phone calls. We talk all the time. I'm privileged to know the change that he has transitioned to over the years, especially between 2020 and 2023. David is a family man. We are a family-oriented family, possibly dysfunctional, but we love each other tremendously. And David is the glue of our family, like James said. And we are extremely proud to say that as a man and family, we love him.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jackson. We appreciate your comments. Mr. Manning, is there anything you'd like to say before we turn it over to Mr. Jones?
Oh, yes, sir. I was raised as we all come from a church background, very spiritual. Throughout this incarceration, these past 9 years, I have had the opportunity to get back in touch with what I was known from my roots, which is God. He gave me a chance on that particular write-up, the last one in 2022, to give an opportunity to fall on my knees and pray, asking for not only for forgiveness, but for guidance. And upon doing that, I recognized I changed through things. I had to understand the system of David Wade, which I would like to thank because it helped me to realize a lot of things in life. I was doing a lot of meaningless things, purposes, unpurposed, unconscious. I was making a lot of bad decisions. Since then, I went to classes, I got into the class to help me understand why I was doing some of those things and recognizing why I was making the mistakes I was making. I'm looking forward to going home, not only just being a good brother, son, I'm a father. I have a daughter that was born the morning I have my tenants, who I have not had the opportunity to be a part, whose life I have not had the opportunity to be a part of. That's all my main priorities is to go home and to be a father to them, 2 daughters that I have, as well as a family man to my sisters, uncles, cousins, and hosts. I just pray that this board will see and recognize the change and grant me the opportunity not only to show you and my family that I have changed and matured as a man, but to do what God has put me on this earth to do.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manning. We appreciate your comments. Mr. Jones, you want to close out for us?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. First of all, I'm Charles Jones, and I appreciate this opportunity to address you all this morning on behalf of David Manning. I was contacted by David Manning's family a couple of years ago, and quite frankly, I was very, very busy. I had cases in 14 parishes and 5 different states, and I really didn't have time to do it. But I just felt the need to help him, and I've had communications with he and his family And on his behalf, I'll be as brief as I possibly can. I had filed several motions on behalf of David, and they are still pending. But I wanted to say that since I have come to talk to him and come to know him as a man, that I can see the difference in him over the last year or so. A couple of years that I have come to know him personally. I believe that David is remorseful. When I talk to him, I can sense it in his spirit that he is remorseful. That he has. I know it's an often thing for people to say, well, you know, now I've come to know God, but I believe that is in fact the case. I believe he's remorseful, he's repentant, and as Mr. Roche indicated, I would like for him to have had greater rehabilitation. But when I was in the legislature, I passed a law to require all of the correctional facilities, Mr. Chairman, to in Louisiana to create educational opportunities. And I'm not laying the blame at anybody. I'm just saying that to everybody to have as much of an opportunity as possible to receive some education or some training such that they could be better off and be better contributors to society and their parents and their families once they're released. And he has not had the greatest opportunity to do that. I think that if he were released, based upon what I know about him, based upon what I am sensing, that he is being rehabilitated, repentant, and remorseful, and that he is constantly references and indicates to me how sorry he is to have be in this situation, not just him personally, but on behalf of his mother and his sister and other members of the family. With respect to the charge that that he's in prison for, there was one charge that I'd like to make reference to, and that's the methanol. This 26 letter word. This charge was a charge that was not passed by the legislature. It was a charge that was brought about as a result of an emergency rule under Governor Jindal, which was an emergency rule which was supposed to have lasted 6 months. But at the time it had elapsed and expired, that at the time that Mr. Manning was convicted. And that's one of the sentences that he received a 33-year concurrent sentence for. I would say this: I met with the district attorney 2 weeks ago, and he indicated to me, and his first assistant indicated to me, that they were not only not going to object to Mr. Manning's parole, but in fact that they were going to, Ms. Holly Jones is the name of the first assistant district attorney, and Mr. Steve too is the name of the district attorney. And they personally, Mr. Chairman and members, they personally indicated to me they were not going to oppose the parole, and in fact, they would reach out to the parole board. I didn't say, I didn't read that to me they were going to write a letter, but they indicated that they were not going to oppose the parole, the release. And so, but I want to say that Mr. Manning is not the person he was. I'm reminded of Mr. Manning's, reminds me of a prodigal son example where you know the story where the man told his dad to give me my inheritance. I want it now. And he went off and lived riotously and wasted all of his goods and ended up in the pig pen and came to himself and say, I think I will go back to see my daddy because my daddy has servants that are better off than me. And so it is a situation where when at some point in life people are not as humble as they need to be, but life's experiences will bring about that humility. I believe that the man that you see sitting before you today, David Manning, has experienced that a transition from whatever the life was into a life of humility. I believe that given the opportunity to be released, that he will continue his education. I believe that he will work and help to provide for his family. All of his family members have attested to the same thing, that he is really a very key part of the family, and that he would, it would not be, if he were released, it is my belief that he would not, you would not be sorry. I don't think you would regret it. I know, I know what it looks like, but I believe that who he is now is not who he was previously, and I believe that that he is remorseful, that he is repentant, and he will be further rehabilitated when he is given the opportunity to do so. But I just want to say,
we need to wrap it up. Wood.
So I want to say to you that, as I said, the DA has indicated that they don't object to his being paroled. I want to say that I know him. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all this morning. I pray that you would give him an opportunity to be released and to improve himself and on behalf of his family, and be a good citizen for the state of Louisiana. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mr. Chairman, Attorney Jones. Attorney Jones. Put Attorney Jones back on the screen. I do have information that Holly Chambers Jones had no comment. He is not opposed. He made no comment. The opposition to the DA comes from DA Marvin in the 26th JDC in Bossier Parish. But the DA's office in Washington Parish did not oppose.
Okay, that's what. Yes, sir, Mr. Roche. That's what that's the person with whom I spoke, and I was not obviously trying to. I was talking about what I knew. I know that I had met with the district attorney in Washita. I know that they had indicated that they were not going to oppose, and in fact, Ms. Holly Jones, the person to whom you referred, had indicated to me that if need be, or if they would contact the parole board, and I see that she did contact the parole board, albeit to say that they have no comment. But when I met with them, they indicated we will not oppose any parole.
But the application for the DA came from Bossier.
That must be Skylar Marvin's district.
Yes,
Yes. Well, I didn't speak with Mr. Marvin because I was concentrating and meeting with the district attorney in Washita, and that's why I was able to.
I just want you to know that she did comply and do exactly as you said.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Rocha. Appreciate it.
You ready to vote?
Yeah.
Rocha?
Mr. Manning,
Yes, sir.
don't take my vote today as a vote to be, to say that you have not started to turn the corner. I really think we have. Even though your last write-up was only 13 months ago, you've taken some additional programs. But my aim today is to give you as much ammunition as possible, so that when you are released, you won't be institutionalized again because you not follow the rules of society. I need you to understand, I need you to start working on your GED. I need you to take some additional programs. You've already started taking programs since your last write-up 13 months ago. I need for you to take as many programs as possible. I'm going to ask Warden Goodwin to take you off the waiting list and put you in GED program immediately after this hearing or when the next class starts. So you can start working on the GED. But based upon extensive criminal background, a poor supervision history, a conduct that's unacceptable, because your last write-up was only 13 months ago. And I need you to start working on that GED so you have that almost completed or completed at the time you're released. So you will have a better opportunity at getting some decent employment. For all the reasons I've mentioned, I want to deny your request today. But work on your GED, get an additional program, and next time if I'm sitting in this chair, it will be a different story. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rusher. Mr. Nazi.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Manning, I've listened very carefully today. And I do agree, you have a poor conduct record up until 13 months ago. You acknowledge. Seems like maybe you've turned the corner. You have really good support by family. For me, I need a more sustained period of time like you being right up free, so that I can be assured that you can follow the rules of society. And my vote today, based on that, is to deny, but I strongly encourage you to stay right up free, reapply when you're eligible to do so.
Mr. Manning, you have 2 votes to deny your parole. My vote would likewise be to deny, but as the warden said, you're on the right track. For the last 13 months, you've done extremely well. I think you just need a little more. Once you get that under your belt, reapply, and it's likely you'll have a different result the next time. Good luck to you.